All right, so last time we had this, when we ran our program, we noticed that we had an animation. It was a guy that was basically idle, and no matter what, that's all he did really, unless we jumped or we ducked. So here we go, we shoot, we notice the bullets are kind of far off, and if we jump and we duck, it's the default animations. And again, he's just breathing no matter if we walk right or not. He's still off the ground, and the bullets start way too far right. So we're going to go ahead and add an animation to this, a little bit more of a complex animation. And first, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to copy this little section of the code. I'm in the game screen class, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to name the variables for my animation. Now this animation, my shooting right, or my mech guy idle shooting right, which is why I choose these variable names, there are only 6 tiles in this animation. So I'm going to go ahead and put in 6 variables here. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to go to my assets class, and right under the other variables for my mech guy idle right, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to paste those, except for I'm going to add the public and static modifier. And I'll just go ahead and put a little note here so I know exactly what these are. It's always good to comment your code. You really can't comment too much in most cases. And I'll copy this comment and I'll go back to the game screen class and I'll add it there as well. Now keep note, these are 2 separate lists of variables. Unlike last time, I'm going to have to create a variable for an animation. I'm going to call this MISR anim, which is mech guy idle shoot right anim. That's what it means to me. And then I will go to my loading screen, and much like last time, I'm going to go ahead and copy this, and I'm going to set the asset variables, which were in the asset class, to the specific files that I want to have show in my animations. So I'll go ahead and I'll name it. Now, of course, it depends on what your pictures are named. I try to name mine something that makes sense. So, I go ahead and do that. Now that I type this MISR, I've got that, and I'll just go ahead and I'll copy and I'll paste it a couple times here. Made a little bit of a mistake, so I got to get rid of this line here. And I need to make sure that I have 6 of these. So I'm going to go ahead and I will change the name of the variables once I get that last line in there. So MISR2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'm going to go ahead and change the name of these pictures. I noticed I got a little bit of a error there, so I must have mistyped some of the variable names previously. So you kind of see that's red and all that. So I'll go ahead and I'll try to retrace this back. And when I look at my game screen class, yep, I notice a couple there, but that's not where the error is going to be, because remember, these are from the assets class, so I actually have to go to the assets class to change these. So if I go ahead and I just edit that and I put the capital R there, and I go ahead and save this right after I do that, I'll go ahead and I'll take a look back, and you see the error on my loading screen tab goes away, and I take a look, and yep, the errors inside the class are gone too. So I'll go back to my game screen class here, and I just named that animation, so now I actually should probably set it up. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to load the variables to equal what's ever in the assets class. So my MISR equals the image variable that's in the assets class, named the same thing. And then I'll go ahead and copy this, paste it a couple times. Well, there I go again with my copy and paste issues, and try to get 6 of these here. And then I'll go ahead and I'll name them correctly. So MISR2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And not surprising, I made that mistake, but I'll go ahead and I'll fix these real quick. And now these red errors are going to be for the variables that are in this class. So I got to go ahead and fix the R's there because I messed up. Keep in mind, Java is a case-sensitive programming language, so lower and uppercase sensitive. So we got to make sure we have that. So I'll fix that error real quick and save it, and I'll notice that the errors are now gone. So now I have those variable images set, and I'm just going to go ahead and steal this little line here because I'm going to assign my animation, my MISR animation, right here, to equal a new animation. So I'm calling the constructor, I'm creating and constructing an animation object, and then I'll just steal that last bit of line there, and I'll make my MIS random dot add frame, And I've obviously got to change the variable names for the images. So go ahead and set that one up, and then I'll copy this and I'll paste them really quickly. Make sure I have 6 of these because, again, my animation has 6 tiles. So I'll go ahead and I'll name these really quickly and add that 6th one there. All right, so now I've basically loaded the flip book, if you will, for my animation. And then I'm going to look for the animate method, which is down here. And again, this is in the game screen class. And I need to make sure that I update my animation. Otherwise, it won't update. It won't flip through the pictures. Now, I just did MIS random.update and put in 50. I didn't add that extra writing in there. Also, I'm going to set the timing for my animations. Now, without getting too bogged down into the details of this, basically, the less the number, the quicker it shows on the screen. The longer the number, the longer it shows on the screen. So that's why I'm changing them, because I kind of want the last image to show just a hair longer. I think it looks a little more realistic for mine. Then I go to the robot class. I'm going to create a Boolean called isFiring, or firing, and I'm going to make it equal false, because right now my robot or my character is not firing. And then I'm going to come down to the bottom, but not after that class brace. I'm going to actually give myself some space here. And I will use the right click and I will generate a setter for my firing Boolean right there. And you'll see that it automatically creates that code. And again, I'll just go down a couple spaces and I'll generate a getter. And this will allow me to get the value of my firing variable. So in my programming or my game screen class, I'll be able to see, am I firing, and all that. Now, it's important to note these variables: frames, current frame, anim time, and total duration. Anim time is how much time has elapsed. Frames is how many frames are in the animation. So if you look, these different animations have different frames. That's what the add frame method does. It adds frames. So this one has 6, the other one has 8. So that's what those variables are for. Total duration is how long does it show. So again, before the class brace, but after the anim frame method, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to create a couple methods for us. So the get current frame method, what I'm going to do that is I'm going to use that so that I know what the current frame of the specific animation is. That way I'll know, can I stop the animation? Because before, we might have had animations that just repeat that aren't supposed to. Like, for example, if you try to duck your character and you had an animation, it might kind of roll through that over and over and over again. This setup that we're going to do is going to help us stop that from happening. We'll be able to count which frame we're on. So go ahead and put a little comment up here. This tells us what frame is currently being animated for that animation that we call it on. And then we'll create another method here, and this one's going to allow us to set a specific frame. So if we wanted to start at a specific frame in the animation, most likely the 0th frame, but we'll go ahead, we'll call it set current frame, and we'll be able to change the current frame with an integer known as f. I just did that because it's short for frame. And then we'll go ahead and we'll make this current frame equal whatever the user puts in for f, or whatever our program puts in for f. And then I'll create one more method, and this one's going to allow us to reset the anim time, because the anim time is what counts, like, okay, how long have I shown this particular frame? We don't want to carry over anim time if we're switching to a new animation, so we're going to go ahead and reset it to 0. With this right here. So we'll go ahead and we'll create a public method. It returns nothing, and we'll call it set anim time. It will accept an integer variable known as t, and it will reset the value of anim time to the value passed in the parameter t. All right. And now we'll go back to the game screen class. We'll have to do a little bit of logic here. So if you want, you can look for updates, or actually you can look for update running, and we'll find that method. There it is right there. That's the method header, update running. It takes a array list there. So we're going to have to know what each one of these do. So this particular inbounds event right below my comments, that's the jump button. It tells me the X, Y, and the width and the height of that area when I press on my screen. And that's really important to know. This next one, XY 0350, is my shoot button. And then this last one here, 0X and Y415, is my duct button. So that's how it knows that I'm touching those. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to refer to the robot object, and I'm going to refer to that new method that we created, set firing. I'm going to make sure it's false every time that we touch the button. That means basically that I'll be able to shoot again. And then I'll add this to the button just to check. So not only do I want to make sure that it's ducked and that it's not ducked, it's not jumped, and it's ready to fire, I want to make sure that is firing is false, which of course every time I touch the button it is. And then I'm going to set the animation frame to 0. I'm going to set the anim time to 0, and that will reset it every time I shoot. That way I'm not halfway through the animation and shooting a bullet. It'll reset that barrel back down. If I didn't do that, then as soon as I shot, it would have the arrow go, or the barrel would still be up in the air, and a bullet would come from lower than that. So underneath, in the same method, underneath that comment there, and underneath this brace here for the else if, we're going to get a little bit of space here. We're going to add to the logic. So we'll make sure that we're showing the right animation at the right time. So we're going to make sure that we try to avoid any errors. We're going to have to go, okay, when do we really want our firing animation to show? I know I don't want my robot to moving left, because this is my idle animation. I don't want it to be moving right, again, because it's idle. It's idle firing. Can't be jumped and can't be ducked. And I'll also want to make sure that it should be firing. So just type this in real quick. Duct equals false. And robot is firing. I don't have to put equals true because it already evaluates as true. I'll just put my left brace on here, hit enter, so I've got the closing brace right below now. And I will nest an if inside that, and I'll say if the animation's current frame is less than or equal to 4, which would actually be the 5th index, because remember it's in an array, then I will set the current sprite to whatever the current frame of the animation is. So it could be 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And, oh, not get current image, but get image. And then, else, if that's not the case, I'll adjust this over a little bit, make it a little bit easier to read here. I will make sure that the robot set firing is false. Get rid of those extra braces there. Oh, I got another one there, parentheses. And then I will make sure that the is random, the MI is random animation current frame sets back to 0, and that its anim time is also set back to 0. And then that way it'll make sure that my animation resets. If I go ahead and I run this program and I take a look at my phone here, give it a second to load. Go ahead and hit the play. You'll notice that now my animation is running. Now, one thing you'll notice is that as I rapid fire, the barrel goes back down. Of course, if I jump and duck, it goes back to the old things. I haven't changed that. But you'll see that my flash point occurs every time I hit fire. So even if I rapid fire, it looks a little more realistic, as opposed to if I wouldn't have reset that, it would have had the barrel way up in the air. So if you need any help send some messages down below. We'll make sure you get taken care of. I can't share the code with you. Well, I can share the code, but I can't share the images with you because I don't own the images. And hopefully you get this and you can apply it to other types of animations. Good luck.